In a small, busy town, life began before the sun fully rose. People hurried, streets buzzed, and yet somewhere in all that noise, small kindnesses still bloomed quietly. This is a story of how one act of kindness can travel from heart to heart and come back again. The sun had just begun to rise when Grace, an elderly woman with silver hair and gentle eyes, entered the town market. She wore a light cotton dress and carried a large wicker basket filled with daisies, roses, and lilies, her only source of income. Every day she sold flowers to people visiting the small church nearby. She earned just enough to buy bread and tea for the evening. That morning, she walked a little faster than usual. She wanted to reach before her spot was taken, but as she turned a corner, her shoe slipped on a loose stone. The basket fell, and hundreds of flowers scattered over the dusty road, the petals mixed with dirt. People stepped around her. No one stopped. Her heart sank. The flowers were her whole day's work. She tried to pick them up, but her hands shook. Just then, a young man named Daniel came running down the street, holding a briefcase in one hand and a cup of coffee in the other. He was late for his office job, but when he saw the old woman struggling, he stopped without thinking. He placed his coffee on a bench, knelt beside her, and started picking up the flowers one by one. Daniel said, "Don't worry, ma'am, let's pick them up together." Together they gathered every bloom. A few people stared, surprised that a man in formal clothes was sitting on the ground. But Daniel didn't care. When they finished, Grace looked up with tearful eyes. Grace said, "You're a kind young man. God will bless you for this." Daniel smiled and said, "I just did what anyone should. These flowers smell like peace. Keep smiling, ma'am." Then he hurried away, but Grace's heart stayed light all morning. She felt as if sunshine had entered her soul. Later that day, after selling most of her flowers, Grace walked home through the church street. The afternoon sun was warm, and she felt tired. Outside the church gate, she saw a little girl sitting on the steps, her head down, tears falling quietly. Grace asked, "Why are you crying, sweetheart?" The girl replied, "I lost my coin. I wanted to buy a cookie, but it rolled into the drain." Grace's heart melted. She remembered her own grandchildren, gone now, living far away. She opened her small purse. There were only a few coins left, but she didn't hesitate. She placed one coin in the girl's hand and tucked a daisy behind her ear. Grace said, "Here you go, dear. Now you have a coin and a flower. Smile again." The girl wiped her tears and gave a bright smile that lit up her whole face. The girl said, "Thank you, ma'am." Grace watched her go. The world suddenly felt less lonely. The little girl's name was Emily. She was around 8 years old, full of curiosity and kindness. With her cookie in hand, she walked home through the narrow streets. The air was dry and warm. Near a cafe, she noticed a brown stray dog lying under a tree, panting heavily. His tongue hung out and his ribs showed. Emily stopped. The sight made her heart ache. She looked around. There was a water tap nearby, dripping slowly. She searched and found a small plastic bowl near a wall. She rinsed it, filled it with water, and placed it in front of the dog. Emily said, "Here, drink this, boy." The dog lifted his head, sniffed, and began to drink. When he finished, he looked up at Emily, wagging his tail gratefully. A shopkeeper nearby, Mr. Carter, had been watching from his counter. He smiled quietly. In that small act of kindness, he saw something pure, something the world often forgot. That evening, when Mr. Carter closed his small grocery shop, he saw a man sitting near the street corner. The man looked weak and hungry, his clothes dusty, his eyes tired. Mr. Carter said, "Hey friend, Come here." The man looked up, surprised. Mr. Carter went inside, took a loaf of bread, a banana, and a bottle of milk, and packed them in a paper bag. He said, "Here, eat before you rest." "It's not much, but it'll help," the man said softly. "You don't even know me." Mr. Carter smiled and said, "A little girl reminded me today. Kindness doesn't need a reason." The man took the bag with trembling hands. He said, "Thank you. I'll never forget this." His name was David, and that night, for the first time in days, he slept with a full stomach and a quiet prayer for the shopkeeper who helped him. The next morning, David woke early and began walking toward the bus stop, hoping to find work. As he walked, something shiny near a lamppost caught his eye, a wallet. He picked it up. Inside were some notes, an ID card, and a few papers. He looked at the money for a long time. It could buy him food for a week. But then he remembered the shopkeeper's words. Kindness doesn't need a reason. So instead of keeping it, he followed the address on the ID and walked across town. When he knocked on the door, a young man opened it. It was Daniel, the same person who had helped Grace the day before. David said, "Sir, I found this on the road." "It belongs to you," I think. Daniel checked inside. Everything was still there. His eyes softened. Daniel said, "You could have kept this." "Thank you for being honest," David replied. "Someone helped me when I was hungry. I'm just returning what the world gave me." Daniel stood silently for a moment, deeply moved. He said, "Maybe kindness travels in circles." After David left, Daniel sat near the window with his wallet in his hand. He thought about the old woman in the market, the little girl, the shopkeeper, and the stranger who had just helped him. He realized something simple. The kindness he gave had come back touched by other hearts. He smiled softly and whispered, "It came back, just like kindness." Outside, the sun rose again over the busy town. Grace arranged her flowers at the market stall. Emily played with her friends near the church. The dog rested peacefully in the shade. Mr. Carter opened his shop with a smile. David helped another man lift a box at the bus stop. The town looked ordinary, but hidden within it was something extraordinary, a circle of good hearts quietly helping one another, because kindness never ends. It moves from one person to another, and one day it finds its way back home. One small act of kindness can travel through many hearts, and one day it returns to yours brighter than before. Thank you for watching.